This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Is Friday, and ooh, that's really loud. And what a Friday. Boy, the Mark Thompson show ran really super late. So thank you for sticking around here because we have some great things on tap here on the After Party Live. Thank you to everyone who contributes, and I'll be a good YouTuber today. First thing out of the chute, ask you to please click the like button if you could. And if you haven't already subscribed, please click subscribe as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And now I'm going to get straight to our friend Tim Sika because it is time. I don't want to keep him waiting longer than I have to for At the Movies with Tim Sika. Hello, Tim.
Hello, Kim. How are you?
Hi, good. My apologies for the delay. Thank you for hanging out.
Oh, sure. I'm happy to. And, you know, sometimes those things happen. So what are you going to do, right?
Yeah,
Just got to go with the flow. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is, So this is supposed to be, I guess, the time of year when things are running a little bit slow, but it seems like there's some movies that have been released and I don't know, anything good on tap?
Yeah, well, anything good? Well, okay, you can determine that based on what I say about the ones we're going to talk about this week. But the first one on our list, which opens in theaters today, is a movie called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I love the title, right? Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And this is an ambitious satire. It's kind of a messy satire on AI. And the title is sort of employed as a kind of mantra as to how we might consider living and staying sane in our current world of rapidly evolving technology, in a world like of social media saturation, cell phones, you know, TikTok, scrolling on our phones from one thing to another, our limited attention spans, all that stuff. So anyway, this is stylishly directed by Gore Verbinski, and the plot has Sam Rockwell, actor Sam Rockwell, playing this man from the future with a message that, hey, he's saying, look around, you know, social media has robbed us all of our dignity. It's turning us into children. And hey, the world is ending before our eyes and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. They're just kind of like letting it happen. And so he plays this man from the future who shows up at this diner in Los Angeles wanting to recruit the precise combination of disgruntled patrons to join him on this one-night quest to save the world from the ever-encroaching influence and reality of artificial intelligence. Okay, so this is a contemporary satire, basically, and Sam Rockwell acts up a storm. That kind of is what he looks like in the movie. He plays this self-proclaimed man from the future who, without context, if you saw this guy in the street, you would normally he would just be seen as a ranting, crazy homeless person on the streets. He also kind of resembles Jesus Christ at times. I don't know if that was deliberate, though. In place of a crown of thorns are these wires, which resemble the wires used to connect computers. Anyway, yeah. What else can I say about this movie? Its strength is in its direction, its stylish direction. The script is kind of a mess. In a way, you can say that this is like two movies. One, the journey of these diner patrons, you know, going along with this guy to save the planet, and two, a series of vignettes to lend context to a number of these patrons' backgrounds. I mean, for one, we learned that one of the characters has lost a son in a school shooting, who's given the option by the government to have her son cloned. Another pair of characters are high school teachers who find it increasingly difficult to actually teach, as teachers today are in a lot of ways, you know, being held hostage by the students and lack of support from parents and just the system in general. And another character loses her boyfriend to virtual reality, and that, without saying too much, all these vignettes in the film's attempts to sort of devastatingly target the culture and how desensitized social media has made us and how worse it's going to get when AI really takes hold. These are the best things, excuse me, about this movie. The rest mostly consisting of this journey of this group of people led by this man from the future go on. It's just a mess. The film is clearly anti-AI, or I guess more specifically, anti-self-awareness, meaning the script fully admits AI is inevitable, but it clearly serves as more of a warning to all of us that if we don't wake up and begin to seriously pay attention to the ramifications of these technological tools that are becoming more and more accessible to all of us, we will in effect be doomed as a society. Nothing new here, but it's just another example in film where this message is kind of worthy of another kind of like crazy off the rails presentation. So I guess to sum up, I think the film has some good sequences. It has some good ideas, and anybody that's interested in this kind of sci-fi satire comedy may and probably should check it out. But for me, I don't know, the storytelling was really subpar, and the film was just an overall disappointment despite its obvious merits. So, and it's a long one too, at 2 hours and 14 minutes, and in moments really felt like 2 hours and 14.
No.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to, I'm trying to presence it in a way that if any of what I said sounds interesting, people might want to check it out. I just thought, well, I've kind of seen a lot of this already in many other movies, and
See, I don't mind a long movie as long as you don't realize it, because good movies,
yes,
like you could be 4 hours later and you're like, I kind of have to pee, but other than that, I wouldn't have even realized how long I'd been sitting here because I'm carried away.
Really, if you get if it's that good to where you really lose the sense of time, right? You're just so involved in the story, then hey, it could be 5 hours for all I care.
Right.
But no, this one, I mean, I think I checked my watch 5 times, maybe.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good luck. Have fun, don't die.
And don't go.
And don't go. Yes, good luck, have fun, don't die, and don't go. Yeah, I love
that
one.
The next one is Shelter with what? Jason Statham?
Jason Statham, yeah. Okay, so just turn off your brain and go on and fully commit to this action thriller ride. It's the best way to preface talking about Shelter, provided, of course, that you have absolutely nothing better to do, right? Because Shelter is one of those movies.
Okay.
And pulsating, like pulse pounding action thriller is the best way to describe Shelter. It's produced by, and it stars Jason Statham, as you said, who plays this assassin in hiding. He's not just an assassin. A precision instrument is the way he's described in the film. In other words, like, I mean, he can like take out 20 people all by himself.
He's an assassin with a heart.
He's an assassin with the heart, yeah, because he kills them really, really quick. But his character has been in hiding from the British government because they've been trying to hunt him down and eliminate him for something like a decade, because he, as he says later in the movie, he put humanity over blind obedience. He put his conscience first, and then the mission that the government put him on second. So he's a reformed precision instrument assassin. And, we've seen all this before in other movies too. But the government is like, no, you betrayed us. And if we find you, you're going to be instant carry-on for the buzzards. So that's the premise. Okay. And another little like plot add-on is that there's a young girl, an innocent girl, who kind of winds up being entangled in this guy's stuff, which obligates him to protect her. So all that's going on in the background while this assassin is fleeing, a government bent on killing him. So, this is a very tense and violent action thriller with very tense and violent action sequences. Statham, I personally like him as a performer, as an actor. He's made a cottage industry out of playing these kinds of parts, and he's really great playing them. He's worth, it's worth going to see the movie just for him. This one, if it's successful, it looks like it may become a franchise for the actor, because it kind of ends a little open-ended. But it remains to be seen, how well this movie's going to do at the box office. Now, I could have lived without this movie. It does that thing where it works the audience up to like this fever pitch where that where you're like sort of getting off on all the violence.
Oh.
And when the badder guys get there, as I say badder, I don't even think that's a word, badder, because good and evil are painted very gray in this movie in terms of character. But when the badder guys get theirs, and of course they all arrive at a very gruesome end, you're going, yes, 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 kill them, which I don't know, on some level I think is unhealthy, but that's just me. But if this is the kind of like adrenaline rush you seek out a movie for, if this is your jam, then I think you'll really like this movie. It's very entertaining. For me, like I said, I could have lived without it. It starts out boilerplate, then gets somewhat interesting as the plot unfolds, but then it goes back to being boilerplate in every way. I should mention, though, Bill Nighy, the great actor Bill Nighy. He's wonderful to watch here. He plays the head of the organization, the government organization that trained the Jason Statham character to be an assassin. He's great fun to watch. And the movie accomplishes what it sets out to do, which is to entertain via some really tense and lengthy and violent chase and action sequences. So I recommend the film on that level. The only spoiler I will ever divulge when I talk about movies, but the dog dies. And if you're sensitive to that, as I always am, and as so many of my friends and colleagues, I've always told people, I'm going to tell you if the dog dies. It's the one thing about a film's plot that I always feel obligated to divulge. But
I like that because people need to know that. Sometimes it's too much, and so you don't want to go to a movie if that's gets you, then don't see it. Yeah.
And of course, and the dog in this movie is so awesome and registers some of those looks a dog registers that makes you think it might even display flashes of being human. Those looks where they look at you and there's just so much in the face. Anyway, so the dog dies, but I mean, the movie's a really good action thriller. Whenever.
Yeah. All right. That is Shelter. Our next movie that you have come with is called Arco.
Yeah, I'm leaving Arco for last. Well, before we talk about our classic movie.
Oh, was there another one?
No. Before we talk about our classic movie recommendation.
Okay.
I know I'm leaving that for last because it's my favorite film of the week. It's destined, I think, to become some sort of minor, I don't know, maybe major animated classic, Arco. It's co-produced by Natalie Portman, the actress, who also plays the titular character's mother in the film. And it's about a 10-year-old boy who lives in the year 2932. A future that's very imaginatively rendered here, and who time travels backwards to 2075, where he meets this young girl for whom he develops an attachment, but then is unable to return home because of a time travel device malfunction or something. So this is a story, really one of those universal stories about wanting to get back to one's home and coming across all these obstacles where you think I'm never gonna get back. So the film is done in, from the poster you can see it's done in a kind of anime style, which at first I thought got in the way of the story a bit. But after I accepted the look of the film, anime has a coldness to it, in my opinion. It's limited animation. Granted that this is the anime style, but said style lacks, say, the fluidity that the Disney animated classics have. And for me, it takes some time to adjust to. But after I accepted the look of the film, it seemed the right fit because it turned out to be this really deeply emotional and story. And possibly had the film been rendered in a more traditional way, it may have played differently, maybe a bit too sugary or too treacly, too sweet. And watching it too, I'm thinking, this would have made a great live action movie with like overtones of E.T. and The Wizard of Oz being very obvious. Both those stories are about a character trying to get back home. And the animated depictions of both of these futures in which the story takes place, 2075 and 2932, would have made for some great visual live action cinema. But it turns out that these futuristic depictions animated in the anime style here in Arco make for some great animated visual cinema as well, because the animation is colorful, it's imaginative. The story of two futures yet to come, the transiting from one to the other, and their visual sort of contrasting is always fun and awesome to look at. The story's nicely plotted. Another plus the film has going for it is that it's hard to come up, in my mind, it's hard to come up with another movie that utilizes the notion of time travel in quite this way. So this is a story about friendship. It's a story about love and letting go. Content that, for me anyway, is rife for having a cumulative effect that is emotionally powerful. And in terms of content too, there's something also in the film to kind of ponder about, I don't know, the duration of consciousness that we call time, and that the past is gone, the future unknown, and that the present moment is really all we have. So let's, make the most of it. So summarily, I think it's an extraordinary movie, Arco. It's probably the most original of the 5 that have been nominated by the Academy this year, vying for Best Animated Film of the Year. It would really be nice to see this movie winning the Oscar over the highly favored but infinitely inferior K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've heard all about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's, it's okay, but it's really like, I don't know, you forget it the minute it's over. But this movie really resonates with your soul. I loved it. It's a great family picture, and it's one adults will like as well, I think. So
I was going to ask you, is it good for kids? So good.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful for kids. It's about two 10-year-old. It's about a 10-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl, but it's very sophisticated and it really deals with universal themes. So I think anybody could groove on this movie. So I really liked it. It's my favorite film of the week. It's called Arco, and it's now playing in theaters. Yeah.
Okay. The next one is Tim Sika's classic movie recommendation of the week, and that would be
Ta-da! Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Have you ever seen it?
I actually have seen this one, but it's been a while, and I don't remember a lot of it, so I'm going to have to rewatch it, I think.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while since I've seen it too. This is a great movie. It's one of several great movies that were released in the year 1939, the year considered to be, the pinnacle of Hollywood. I mean, so many great movies were released that year, like The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind and Wuthering Heights and what else? Stagecoach, the Betty Davis vehicle, Dark Victory, Goodbye, Mr. Chips. Anyway, and among those great films released that year is this week's classic movie recommendation, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which is especially timely, Kim. I don't have to tell you this. It's especially timely viewing in light of how far down we in this country have plummeted politics wise. Anyway, it's directed by Frank Capra, and this is one of his very best films. And creatively, he was at the height of his powers as a filmmaker when he made Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It stars Jimmy Stewart right there. He's, I think he's filibustering in that scene in a performance that actually made him a bona fide movie star. He's fabulous in this role. He plays this guy named Jefferson Smith, this innocent and naive country bumpkin who was selected by these cynical politicians to replace a recently deceased senator in the belief that he could be manipulated by the state's senior senator, Joseph Payne, who was magnificently played by Claude Rains, who, when I think of it, Claude Rains has never given anything less than an excellent performance in any movie he's ever been in. But anyway, be that as it may, Jefferson Smith, the character that Jimmy Stewart plays, he heads off to Washington. He's full of ideals, and he dreams of working with his idol, Senator Payne, little realizing that he's expected to be a rubber stamp for this crooked scheme to finance a new dam that will profit only Payne and his cronies. So it's the story of political idealism in the face of political corruption. And again, when viewed today, the level of political corruption that's dramatized here compared to the Trump White House is so tame. But the emotional truths dramatized in this movie and the way in which the film functions as a kind of, I don't know, like a guardian of democratic ideals is absolutely timeless. Would that every member of Congress today be forced to sit and watch this movie? I don't know. It might change things in Washington for the better, maybe even for just a moment, or at minimum inflict a pang of conscience on some members of Congress, reminding that these elected officials, reminding them of what they're supposed to be doing as representatives of the people who put them there. Because, where this film, great film, works best, I think, is on the premise that really what is the Edmund Burke quote, that all that is necessary for evil to triumph is the inaction of good people. Or is that paraphrase?
For
For
good men to
people,
do nothing.
good men to do nothing.
Mhm.
That's to me what this movie is really about. And I watched the film again this week. It's been a while, like for you, it's been a while since I've seen it,
Mhm.
and I was amazed over how well it held up, how resonant it was, how it was particularly yeah, I'm going to use that word again, resonant,
Mhm.
because of what's going on in Washington today. It's really a kind of political, moral masterpiece. It received 11 Oscar nominations in 1939, including Best Picture. It only won a single Oscar for Best Original Story because the competition was strong that year, with Gone with the Wind pretty much sweeping everything in sight. But Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is still a superb, thrilling, absorbing drama, and one I also think, in my opinion, I think it should be shown in schools, if for no other reason. There's a wonderful scene in this movie between James Stewart and his secretary, played by Jane Arthur, that in very specific and very entertaining detail explains exactly how a law is passed and how Congress works and what it takes, the rigorous effort to make something into law. It's just an amazing scene. I mean, and I saw this movie as a kid, and it got me to go to the library to learn about civics and stuff. So anyway,
Wow.
I love this movie for a number of reasons, but primarily because it's superbly entertaining. And yeah, that's my classic movie recommendation of the week. It's streaming on Tubi,
Oh,
and it's also on Prime Video. So perfect time to watch it, folks. It'll give you
so
hope.
today is a huge protest day.
Yeah.
And kids
Yeah.
at my daughter's school are either not going to school today or many of them are walking out. And I wonder, do they really know what they're walking out for?
Good
I mean,
question.
they see people getting hurt, right? But do they really understand that their rights are being violated? Do they really understand what it is the Constitution represents to them and what it should mean to them? Do they understand what's happening in Washington? And I feel like maybe if I sit my kid down and have them watch this movie, they'll come away with a little bit better perspective.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's the what you showed. That's the
Mhm.
scene where she's explaining to him, because he's full of ideals, and he thinks like, hey, this makes sense to me. I'm just basically going to walk into Congress, and and everybody's going to see the reasonableness and the sensibleness, or the sensibility of this
Mhm.
bill I want to pass, which is going to benefit kids. And she's saying, "No, hell, hey, wait, hold on. It's not that easy."
Let
But
me school
in
you.
that scene, and in the process, you learn about, in a nutshell, how a law is passed, and
Mhm.
it's great. But I don't even think, you wonder if the teachers are saying anything. I mean, civics isn't even taught in schools anymore, is it?
It is, as a matter of fact. Well, this
Is it?
year, in
Oh,
junior year,
oh,
Julia's she's taken AP US History. They call it A-Push. And
uh-huh.
every single day they open up the class talking about current events, and kids get to comment on current events. And then the teacher will relate the current event to something that has happened in American history. And Julia
Excellent.
is fascinated by this. And every
Uh,
day she comes home talking about it. Next year, her senior year of high school, can you believe I'll have a senior? She has to take
no,
one
no.
semester of American government, US government, and one semester of economics. So they're co-classes that if you got to register for both of them in order to
Right.
graduate from high
Yeah, yeah,
school.
yeah.
So
Well, that's really, really good
mhm,
hearing. And really, that's where the hope lies, I think, in moving forward, are in these young
mhm,
people that are fascinated and really interested in this stuff. Who
mhm.
knows? I mean, yeah. So, wow, I can't believe Julia's going to be a senior.
I
That's
know.
really, that is so weird. I remember talking to her when she was little on KGO. Remember,
I
there was yeah, I had a nice
know.
back and forth with her, but I think she was like 9 or 10 or something.
Yeah, I know. She
I
kinda
know.
grew up there, and
Yeah.
Jacob, is 11, and he has big complaints because he didn't get to go nearly as much as she did, and now, of course, it's gone.
Oh,
So,
yeah, he did, and I don't think I've
no,
ever talked to Jacob, no.
mm-mm, no.
Yeah,
But it's
anyway.
funny because they both, before we watch a movie, they'll say, "What does Tim Sika think?" They
Oh,
both know.
that's sweet.
Yeah, they
That is
both
so
know.
sweet. Oh,
A
that
lot
is
of
so sweet.
people in the chat haven't seen it, But Teacher Lori says our current officials would only take away the message that there's always been corruption in DC, so they're not so bad.
Yeah, could be.
I'm not sure. Great movie though, says Teacher Lori. Kind of depressing. Oh, she's looking at the West Wing episodes too. Yeah, those are good. Yvonne says, Tim, interesting anime comparison to old time classics. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Nullifidian says, I don't think I've ever seen anime. Well, this could be your opportunity. Absolutely. I liked Statham in Beekeeper, said Nullifidian.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, that was the movie that came out last year. Yeah. Oh, that was another good one. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah, Jason Statham, man. He you don't want to mess with him and the characters that he plays in his movies. You don't want to mess with him.
Yeah. Looking at these comments, Nullifidian is agreeing with you. I don't think civics is taught in high school anymore. Well, it is here. So I don't know. I think that they're working on it. They're doing their best.
Trying to bring it back, I hope.
Eileen says Jimmy Stewart is a national treasure.
Absolutely. Yes, Eileen, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Tim Sika, you've done it again. Let's roll through it really quickly.
Oh, geez.
We'll do the cap.
You got the hard work. You got to like sort of synthesize all my wordiness and come up with a summary.
I love it. That's my favorite part.
Okay.
You said of good luck, have fun, don't die. The script is messy. The messages are good. The film really is a warning against AI. And then it has some good ideas, but for you, the storytelling was subpar. It was a disappointment. It is too long. It is not recommended by Tim Sika. Shelter is the latest offering from Jason Statham. You said this is a turn off your brain and take in the action thriller kind of movie. It's a pulse pounder. He's an assassin in hiding being hunted, but you said this movie is violent, that you could have really done without this movie. The violence maybe was a little over the top, especially the sad animal part. But you said if this is your jam, if you like the adrenaline rush of a thriller, then you'll probably like this movie. You said it's entertaining. Just know that it's boilerplate, but it does what it sets out to do. And for that reason, you recommend Shelter. But your favorite movie of the week was Arco. You said this one's going to become an animated classic. That anime really works with this movie and with this story. It's about friendship and love and letting go. And you said that Arco is an extraordinary movie. The most you said it's the most original of the movies nominated for Best Animated Oscar this year. You're hoping it will win. You said Arco resonates with your soul, and it's a great family movie. So we should all go see Arco. And your classic movie recommendation of the week from 1939 is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. You said this is a movie about political idealism and corruption that is super timely. You want every member of Congress to see this movie, and you want it shown in all the classrooms. You said this movie is resonant. It holds up well. It's a political, moral masterpiece. It had 11 Oscar nominations. It only won for Best Original Story, but it is superb. And you said it's streaming on Tubi, which I think is free, right?
Yeah, Tubi is free. I think there's commercial breaks, but it's free. So, I mean, you know, hey, why not?
It's the old time way of having bathroom breaks and being able to do a load of laundry without hitting pause. So that's
right, or going to get a sandwich or going to relieve your business in the bathroom. Yeah,
exactly. Tim Sika, you are super awesome, and I hope you have a really good weekend.
Oh, you too, Kim. And I'll talk to you next week. I'm looking forward to it.
At the Movies with Tim Sika. Bye, Tim.
Bye, Kim.
Bye-bye. At the Movies with Tim Sika happens every Friday, 1:30 p.m. Pacific here on the After Party Live. I break out the videos so that you can watch them in their entirety alone and isolated, because I know a lot of people just want to see Tim. They're coming to see what the movie reviews are. So you can find that under videos here on the After Party Live. And my humongous thanks to Tim Sika for always being extra cool and coming along on Fridays. Tubi, Judy says Tubi TV has Mr. Smith. Absolutely. I saw something. Susan plans to watch Mr. Smith, says thank you. What Jason Statham movie isn't violent, says Phineas. Absolutely. Yeah. What else I saw another thank you to Tim from Nancy. You'll get that robot house design. Don't worry. I saw another superb is the perfect word. Oh, here it is. That Yvonne says, love the black and white movies. Yeah, when you think of a classic movie recommendation, sometimes you think of the black and whites. And I know Tim has recommended some movies from the 80s, I think even one from the early 90s. And yeah, those are classic movies nowadays as well. But you get those black and whites, there's something just kind of homey about them as well. So, Yvonne, I agree with you. Wonderful. Okay, so I do want to show you the story about how AI robots think that human beings should be living. And they have designed this house for us. That's what AI thinks we should be living in. It looks like a little pod. It's got a spot for the robot on one side and a spot for the humans on the other and down below. Will this be the house of the future? Will this be what we're all living in? I mean, you could say it's a space saver, I suppose. Oh, would you buy this? Would you live in this? Is this your jam? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm sold on it. But they had an AI robot. Her name is Aida, AIDA. Get it? And they asked Aida to design a house for humans. This is what Aida came up with. And they're exhibiting the first building concept designed by a humanoid robot. And right now it's on display at Denmark's Utzon Center. But Aida is an artificial intelligence-driven machine. She's got a realistic human-like face, a robot arm that is used for drawing and moving cameras for eyes that enable her or it to see. And her art in the past has been displayed at London's V&A Museum, the Venice Biennale, and the Great Pyramid of Giza. So she's been around. Her work has been around. But this building that Aida designed, it kind of has a retro futuristic pod house looking vibe. It has bulbous curves and giant porthole windows, and it was designed to support human and robot cohabitation. According to Aida, this house could be used on the moon, on Mars, on Earth. It works in all the different places. It spans multiple mediums. I don't know. She's rendered the exterior and the interior. It looks like it has two living rooms, a spiral staircase, a kitchenette or bathroom, a miniature pod contained within the larger pod is for the robot to be kept or sleep or regenerate or however it's going to happen in the future. The man behind it, the designer that took Aida's ideas and is setting it forth, says it's unclear where the line between human prompting and AI agency lies. That within her work, there is some human interplay here. So that's something to take note of. But the idea to design a building came from the Utzon Center, where this work is displayed. So the designing team developed the brief through discussions with Aida, deciding that it should be a building of the future that considers space exploration and co-living spaces for humans and humanoids. And that's what it looks like. Aida has rising agency and creative drive. She responds to requests. She always has the majority creative influence and is the main artist and executor of her work. For this exhibition, says Aida, I have created my studio home that exists as a virtual world. It invites reflection on how humans and humanoids might work together positively to shape the future of living. When they asked Aida why she's interested or it is interested in architecture, she said, architecture feels like the natural extension of my purpose. She said, "My work has always been about the relationship between humans and technology, and architecture is where those relationships become lived experiences. Designing a home allows me to explore how we shape the spaces that in turn shape us." She's creepy. Right? That's creepy. But the house and pod is interesting. And I mean, maybe it is. I will say it is. When you look at, oh, what's the future going to look like? It's rather Jetson-esque, right? That this may be how people envision the future with flying cars and pods and whatnot. So, okay, Ida. I don't know how original it is, just because, there's probably some rendering of this in the past or something pod like it. Yeah, Yvonne says Judy, Leroy, and Pebbles and Bam Bam. No, Ophidian would rather live in a log cabin in the woods. Gordon says for Mars, it would have to have lead shielding for the radiation. It would have to have a lot of things, I think. No solar? Maybe the solar's on the backside, Jen. I don't know. I do not want to live with a robot, says Mama. Even if it does your housework? I don't know. Then what are we going to do? Just lay around and do nothing? We got to get up and move, right? Zero sum. I like the modern designs as much as the old ones. It's about the intentional or the intention of the space use. Teacher Lori says that answer is actually pretty excellent and insightful. I know, and that's why it's so creepy, because she's smart, right? Mindy says it's beautiful. All right. Yeah. Zero sum says people, robots, listen up. Make a toast without burning first, then I'll trust you. Wes, when's your robot arriving? Anticipating your review. Yeah, Wes ordered a robot. I can't wait to see what Wes thinks of this robot. Agent Kitty Feet says that's adorable, and I would totally live there. There is something 50s-ish and cute about it, isn't there? It almost looks like a I don't know, you expect to see a girl on roller skates come out taking your burger order or something. So there's something kitschy about it. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Kind of like the Flintstone house. It is. Okay, we'll move to the next story. Let's do this. I have a story. Speaking of one house, let's go to the next house. Did you see this story? This is from SF Gate. Somebody took an entire city block that was apartments in San Francisco at a time, mind you, when we're having a housing shortage and rents are rising, not enough places for people to live. They took an entire city block, bought the whole thing, and turned it into a mansion, a single family mansion. All those apartments, done. It's now a mansion. It is actually now a $32 million estate. Yeah. It looks from the outside still like it might be apartments, but it isn't. It's on Jackson Street. It's now a private compound. The historic property, according to SF Gate, was built as an apartment complex in 1905, but today it's a private residence and a single family estate. And you too could purchase it. It for the bargain basement price of $32 million. It would, they say, easily be mistaken for the historic 7-unit building it once was. The exterior facade has been deliberately maintained to look like it did over a century ago, but this 26,260 square foot estate is owned by one family. Architects transformed the apartment building into a luxurious compound. They said it was a process of reconstruction and renovation that took 10 years. And I've got some pictures to show you of the inside. I mean, I don't know how much space you need, but here's the hallway. You could almost picture, people walking down to their apartment in the days of old. This is how it looks now. There's a home gym. There's in the 26,000 some odd square feet of space. And it's huge. Single family home, you guys. Used to be 7 apartments. I'm telling you. I just can't. Based on the floor plans detailed on the official website, it's 5 levels. It has 9 bedrooms. It has 10 full bathrooms, 5 full baths, parking for 20 cars. The main level offers a sheltered European-style courtyard, a dining room for up to 30, kitchen equipped with professional-grade appliances, of course. The wellness level, as you see here, offers an expansive home gym, a basketball court, a yoga studio, a massage room, and a 6-car garage with electric vehicle chargers. On the guest and entertainment level, according to SF Gate, amenities like a full bar and kitchen and golf simulator room, a whole room for golf. No joke. Theater, a game room, a wine cellar. On the primary living level, all the hallmarks of luxury living, including a library, a study, a formal dining room, and a second kitchen. Up one more level is the primary bedroom with its massive bedrooms, spa bathrooms, walk-in closets. There's a roof deck with a hot tub, an outdoor kitchen, a fire pit, and you can see the Golden Gate Bridge from the roof. They say the estate is the domain for one family right now, but it doesn't have to stay that way. There are multiple independent living quarters, a 2-bedroom guest apartment in what is now the chef's kitchen and catering kitchen, could be 2 separate kitchens in a multi-family configuration. So whether the next owner sees it as a multi-generational family compound, a wellness-driven retreat, a sophisticated live-work environment, the scale and flexibility are unprecedented in Pacific Heights. Okay, I just thought that was crazy. You look at it and you think it's apartments, because that does not look like a house. And it is somebody's house. That's it. Yeah. Again, the price tag on that, what did I say? Was it 23 million? That's such a bargain. 32 million. My apologies. 32 mil. I got my numbers transfixed. 32 mil. Okay. Well done, San Francisco. How about we go back and talk about Dolly the donkey? Dolly Parton is her name. It reminds me of a guinea pig that Julia had. Her first guinea pig was named Rockstar. And Rockstar did not live long. So we got a second guinea pig, and his name was President Barack Obama. Whole thing. And whenever you were referring to the guinea pig, you had to say the whole thing, President Barack Obama. Couldn't call him Obama or the president. It was President Barack Obama. This happened in Michigan, where this mini donkey named Dolly Parton, don't call her Dolly, just gotta call her Dolly Parton. She wandered away from her owner's farm in Michigan, and the troopers were dispatched to Holly Township because Dolly Parton the donkey broke out of the farm through a pasture gate that was unfortunately left open. So they had to canvass the area trying to find Dolly Parton, the donkey, and found her walking down a roadway. So they captured her. She was free for a full hour. They captured her and they brought her back to the farm, and she's been returned and all is well, and Dolly Parton is now fine, the donkey. This in honor of Friday Fabulous Florida and Tammy and Wes, we have this story out of Florida. This is a 9-foot-long boa constrictor, 9 feet long, that was removed from somebody's yard in Florida. A sheriff's deputy in Florida ended up, he said, in a very unusual situation when he was called out to remove a 9-foot boa constrictor from a yard of a resident who was very surprised to see it there. The Indian River Sheriff's Office went on social media, said that Corporal Kramer was called out to a house where a resident spotted a pretty big snake in her yard. The sheriff's office then shared photos that you see here of Kramer capturing this snake which I think goes above and beyond the Call of Duty. He could have called out animal control, but he caught it himself. That's badass. So Corporal Kramer then turns the boa constrictor over to animal control. They don't know how it got there. Was it somebody's pet from a nearby house that escaped? Was it, I don't know, had it been living in nature a long time? It was a big one, 9 feet long. Can you even imagine? So, yeah, that's going on in Florida. This story, I'll give you this one as well. This horse is crying. It's horse production. It's a production error in this toy that apparently has turned this horse into a viral sensation. It's a stuffed horse. It's now China's hottest toy. There was a mistake when it was being made, and it was made in Yiwu International Trade City. And it was meant to be a smiling icon. You can see how it's kind of a smile that's upside down. It was meant to be a smiling icon for the year of the horse. But an error in production caused the muzzle of the horse to be sewn on upside down, and that gave the horse a frown, and it makes the nostrils of the horse appear to be falling tears. And someone bought one and posted a picture online, and then everybody wanted a sad horse. And about 400 horses were being sold per day when they were first released in October. But the viral status of the crying horse led to orders reaching tens of thousands of these being sold every day. Wholesale orders were coming in from as far away as South Africa. The horses apparently have become mascots for young workers who call themselves New Ma, which translates to cattle and horse, and is used as a euphemism for overworked employees. So, you buy the sad horse and it kind of is your icon for your work life. The South Morning Post, quoting a customer who said, "This little horse looks so sad and pitiful, just like the way I feel at work. With this crying toy in the year of the horse, I hope to leave all my grievances at work behind and keep only happiness." So apparently the sad horse is the latest big thing, not just in China, but around the world. Who knew? I have another story I wanted to show you about a sport I had never heard of. Perhaps, though, you have heard of Skijorking. Skijorking is where you get on a pair of skis and then you attach yourself to a horse, and then the horse starts to gallop and pulls you on your skis, and away you go. This is an extreme sport of Skijorking where horses pull skiers at 40 miles an hour. Crazy. It's a winter sport, high adrenaline. It's derived from the Norwegian word for ski driving, Skijorking. If you go to France, they said it's pronounced Skijorking. In German, it's Skiering. In Norway, it's Skijering. Every culture has its own version, and they say that's part of what makes this sport interesting and special. It has its own agency, Skior International or Skior USA. The Skijorking is a winter sport in which a skier is pulled across the snow by a horse. In European competitions, as you see here, the horse typically runs riderless. In Western style competitions, there is a mounted rider steering the horse through a fast-paced obstacle course. I mean, to have no rider and just leave the horse in charge, that's like asking for injury, right? It's a free-flowing, wild-hearted diversity that makes the sport so attractive. But unfortunately, it's that diversity that makes Skijorking possibly never again an Olympic sport. It was included as a demonstration event in the 1920s and apparently did not go well. So I don't know if I would ever attach myself to a horse on skis behind it. I really do think it's asking for injury. As to what it feels like, apparently it's similar to the sensation of water skiing. Sitting back slightly against the pull of the rope, keeping your knees flexed, relying on arm and leg strength to stay upright. But they said it might be a little easier than water skiing because with water skiing, you have to go fast to stay afloat. And with a horse, you could go slower to stay upright. It does have a very different sensation than horseback riding on snow, with the skier's weight distributed across the skis rather than concentrated on a saddle. The horse apparently can move more efficiently over snowy terrain, and it's easier to navigate sharper turns without destabilizing the horse. It used to be, apparently, a form of winter transportation in Scandinavia. They used skis and reindeer to travel over snowy expanses, and then Nordic militaries took up the practice to move troops and supplies through harsh winter conditions. And over time, people realized, hey, that's kind of fun. And so by the early 1900s, Skijorking evolved into a recreational activity in the Alps. It apparently has had some high profile fans, including the founder of the Winter Olympics. And that's why they did a demonstration event in the 1920s too. Then they brought it to America, and American tourists apparently started bringing Skijorking back from their European vacations around 1914. And so you started to see it at some of the bigger resorts in Lake Placid, New York. The Western version started in towns like Jackson and Steamboat and Banff. It was more free spirited and rugged and more about testing your skills. And so today, Skijorking takes many forms. There's a wide range of styles. Some skijorkers are pulled by dogs or miniature ponies, others by snowmobiles, motorcycles, or cars, donkeys. It's all kinds, all comers. So we don't know whether skijorking will ever be seen in a Winter Olympics again. We'll see. There is some effort to include it, but so far it's a no-go. There's I don't know. What do you think? Has anyone skijorked? I'm going to the chat. See if you guys have ever skijorked. Will this replace the Iditarod? I don't think so. No. Wes said I grew up on a horse farm in upstate New York, and they always warned about running horses in the snow where there could be gopher holes and such. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Cross-country skiing was my favorite, says Jan Morgan. Dog sledding sounds safer, says Ren. Absolutely. Cross-country skiing is the best. Stay warm, nice, quiet, and beautiful. Phineas says, make the human pull the horse. There you go. That is Skijorking. All right. Well, we have come to the end of the After Party Live, and I'm so grateful for all of the comments this week and for you guys spending so much time with me this week. And I hope we do it again next week. Please click the like button if you haven't already. Thank you so much to everyone who contributes to the After Party Live, and that includes Wes in Florida, who throws down a 10 and said, I just asked ChatGPT this. Design and create an image of the ideal house for a human and then describe it. And it came up with something more traditional. Interesting. More traditional than this, which is what we were looking at earlier. And the robot, he says, arrives on Monday. Oh, please take video and send it to me so I can share it. Thank you for the contribution. And thank you for the cool chat. You have to send me the picture of what it designed for you, because I'm interested to see what AI online thinks that we will be living in And thank you so much, Wes, for that. Thank you for all the contributions this week. So appreciate it. Yesterday, Wes kicked in a 5, Donald S., Janet W., Kathleen G., the most recent contributors to the After Party Live via PayPal. You can find all that information in the show description every single day. And thank you to everyone for emails and ideas and all the ways that you contribute to the After Party Live. I will see you on Monday. I hope you have a really, really good weekend. Until we meet again, make it the very best one. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
It's kind of loud, isn't it? I'm sorry. I'll turn it down just a little bit. Okay, it's better. Happy weekend, Heather. I see what you did there. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. The music ended. Oh, nope, nope. We wish you well too, Jano. I don't see the email yet, Wes. I was going to try to show it really quickly, but I'll have to do it on Monday. Thanks for sending.